Guys, it's time to train smarter, not harder. Are you doing too many similar exercises and not maximizing muscle growth? Well, let's talk about how to avoid exercise redundancy in your training. Now, for comprehensive muscle growth and development, research suggests that we need to perform a wide range of exercise variations. So when you stack exercises that provide nearly identical stimuli, it can actually lead to diminishing returns rather than more gains. First, not all exercises are created equal. Some provide superior muscle building benefits, such as the straight leg calf raise compared to the bent knee calf raise. Second, different exercises target specific muscles or muscle regions to varying degrees. For example, multi-joint movements like squats engage the quadriceps differently than a single joint exercise like a leg extension. Therefore, incorporating a variety of exercises can help ensure balanced and complete muscular development. While incorporating a variety of exercises is key to optimizing muscle growth, it's equally important to avoid redundancy in your programming. Exercise redundancy in hypertrophy training occurs when multiple exercises within a single session and/or within a training week provide nearly identical stimuli to the same muscle group, leading to diminishing returns rather than added benefits. While variation supports well-rounded muscular development, excessive overlap, especially within a single session, can result in inefficient training and diminishing returns. So what does exercise redundancy look like? Well, number one, the use of similar joint angles and muscle activation. When two or more exercises are included in a program targeting the same muscle group in nearly the same way, they fail to provide a new growth stimulus. Number two, overlapping strength curves. This is the inclusion of multiple exercises in a single session that overload the muscle in similar parts of the range of motion, rather than complementing one another. And number three is unnecessary volume with diminishing returns. Once sufficient volume is reached for a muscle, additional volume through similar exercises offers minimal extra growth, but it does increase our fatigue. So here are some examples of exercise redundancy along with some better alternatives. Let's start with chest training, a program that includes both a flat barbell bench press and a flat dumbbell press, where both exercises emphasize the mid-range of the chest with similar horizontal pressing movement patterns. A better alternative would be to swap out one of these movements for an incline barbell press, which emphasizes the upper chest. Or alternatively, a chest fly, which is a transverse adduction movement pattern and targets the sternal portion of the chest that originates in the sternum or the breastbone. Now, here's another example of exercise redundancy but with back training. Consider the wide grip lat pull down and the wide grip assisted pull up. Both these exercises emphasize the lats in a pulling pattern with nearly identical mechanisms. A more effective approach would be to pair up pull-ups with dumbbell rows while incorporating a mix of neutral, wide, and supinated grips. This combination allows for both vertical and horizontal pulling, leading to a more comprehensive muscle activation, not only targeting the lats, but also engaging the biceps, the lower lats, the mid-back, the teres major, and the rhomboids for a well-rounded development. And what about leg training? Well, consider the Smith machine back squat and the leg press. Both exercises share similar biomechanics, muscle activation, and movement patterns, targeting the quads and glutes and the adductors through a squat-like motion. A better alternative would be to combine squats with leg extensions, as single joint movements like leg extensions can be more effective at targeting the rectus femoris, while multi-joint exercises primarily engage the vasti muscles. Another option is to include the pendulum squat, which differs from traditional squats by placing greater emphasis on the lengthened position or the bottom of the squat due to its unique lever system, resulting in more overload on the quads and increased knee travel in the deepest part of the movement. So let's look at an example within the literature. A recent study by Casiano and colleagues compared changes in muscle growth when either varying the exercise or performing a constant exercise across a training block. They divided the participants into two groups: the constant group, which performed the same two exercises targeting the quads and the hamstrings 3 times per week, while the variable group performed 3 different exercises across the 3 sessions. The exercises for the constant group included a 45-degree leg press and a stiff-legged deadlift for the quads and the hamstrings respectively, while the variable group included the leg press, the hack squat, the Smith machine squat for the quadriceps, and the stiff-legged deadlift, the prone hamstring curl, and the seated hamstring curl for the hamstrings. Both groups performed 2 sets of 10 to 15 reps to task failure per exercise, and after 10 weeks, the researchers observed no differences in muscle thickness for either of the quadricep or hamstrings between groups. Now, when trying to explain the lack of differences in hypertrophy, the researchers highlighted that the exercise program consisted of movements that presented similar biomechanical characteristics, and that perhaps only if the exercises in a varying program included different characteristics, so varying resistance profiles targeting different muscle regions, would it be advantageous from a muscle building perspective. So how can we avoid exercise redundancy? First off, choose exercises with different movement patterns. For example, horizontal and vertical pulling and pushing movements. Number 2, try to prioritize different joint angles to ensure full muscular development. Number 3, balance the strength curves by incorporating exercises that challenge different ranges of motion. And number 4, monitor volume and fatigue. More exercises aren't always better if they don't add a unique stimulus. And my final takeaways on this topic are, instead of doing multiple variations of the same movement, it's important we structure our routines to cover a full range of motion and different resistance profiles while minimizing exercise redundancy. This ensures better efficiency, better recovery, and more effective muscle growth over time. And if you'd rather not figure this out on your own, then consider joining BiaFit, my evidence-based workout app, designed to help you reach your training goals no matter your level of experience. For more information, simply follow the links in the description below, and I'll see you in my next video.